Sorry, a little bit late. Jack and I were discussing our 10-year plans. All right, hello and welcome to the Matchday Vlogs channel. So as always, please remember to smash that like button and hit subscribe because it really does make a difference to the channel. We're here this evening to talk about the upcoming game at the Etihad. Free hit FC as Southampton travel up to Manchester to take on title contenders, shall we call them? Manchester City and the 3 o'clock kickoff. We're also going to be having a painful look back at the game from Saturday. I'm sure that the words frustrating inconsistencies, also known as Anthony Taylor, will be coming up, I'm sure. So we'll be certainly digging into all of that and getting your opinions on all the aftermath, which I'm sure there is a plenty. This show is brought to you by the good people at Football Prizes. This week's competition is a pair of hospitality tickets worth, I think they're worth about £300. So go on over to Football Prizes. It's the Southampton versus Brentford contest, which is happening on the 4th of January. So for a cheeky little £3.95, you can pick yourself up a potential amazing Christmas present for someone or for yourself. There's also a chance to get some instant wins in there. And how the instant wins work, just in case anyone was wondering, you buy your ticket and you get a number, and then you can check your number against all the list on thing, and you can have a chance of winning some instant prizes there. So go and check that out. But more importantly, this show is also sponsored by you good people, the members of this channel. Thank you so much for your continued support. I really don't say that enough. So thank you so much for all your support. Details on memberships are in the description. So go and check that out. Let us know where you're watching the show from. Nothing too specific. That would be weird. I know there's a lot of people on holiday or about to go on holiday this week. So we haven't got any stats this week.
Oh, I see.
So there we go. But we do have a guest joining us to give his thoughts on the season so far. I'm sure he'll be a familiar face to many of you, but we'll get into that very, very shortly. Jack, how are we doing? How are we doing?
You know, just living in recovery. I'm a bit numb to it now this season, to be honest. It's just like leaving the game. I was like, oh, I might watch Match of the Day tonight just so we can all agree how awful it was.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I got home, I was like, no, I'm not even into that. I'm just gonna put it to one side till next week and again.
There was a moment though. I think when we had a man sent off and that penalty happened, you kind of just rescinded. You were just like, it's done. And it's like you knew what was coming and you were like mentally preparing yourself for the incoming last minute 3-2 defeat.
Every step of the way I knew what was going to happen. I don't really. Yeah. I could probably say I didn't probably watch the last 20 minutes of that game. I was just scrolling through Twitter, seeing what was see if I could see that the Ryan Fraser challenge, see if I could just anything but watch the game. Really, it was I just knew what was coming. They lost everything, like even just like any sort of like presence in the game. Like in the first half, everyone looked solid, everyone was charging about, and then as soon as the one went in, it was like, here it comes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and everyone just felt like they all sort of shrunk a few inches. In which department, that's up to you, but you know, they definitely just weren't the same team. So it just knew what was coming.
It was painful to see. I mean, as much as we like to blame a certain Anthony Taylor, of which the inconsistencies were vast, we were getting sort of yellow cards all over the place, and of course the Paul on Paul Onuachu being the most glaring point that could have seen us go 3-1 up. But let's not shy away from it. The substitutions were dreadful, and in the second half we just went missing. And I think we just shut off assuming, we're 2-0 up, this game's won. It's like, guys, you've played for this club for at least 2-3 years, most of you, so you know how this goes. Yep. So I was just massively disappointed with that. And Leicester, to their credit, just ran riot on the end of it. But to concede that last-minute goal in a similar manner to how it was at Ipswich was particularly disappointing. I just don't understand how there's no one on the edge of the box. What did you make of like Russ? I would say digging out one of his players to say someone wasn't there, they know who they are. Well, I'm not sure he said that, but he was alluding to someone making a mistake.
Excuses are coming out now. And I think this was probably the first time where it wasn't really "it's on me," because if he makes that remark again, it's kind of like giving into what everybody's saying. So I think they're all in damage control, and you can't really listen to anything they're saying, because when you step back and look at it, it's the problems we've got this season were the same problems we had last season, except last season we were against championship teams and we had just an extra touch of class.
Yeah.
And now it's everything we said it would be. It's like it's going to be that much quicker. It's going to be that much more physical. They're going to get those decisions go the other way against you. You don't have that. Wow, it all balances out at the end of the season that the championship does. It's no, everything's going to be looked at. Everything's going to be scrutinised, and then if you don't play those dark arts as well, you will get that's going to go against you. So it just feels like, it just feels like immaturity all over the shop, really, or just not knowing, not accepting where you are.
Yeah,
I hate it. I hate where we are.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. 8 games in, 1 point. It doesn't spell a pretty picture for the Rangers season. Our guest is here. He's arrived.
I bet it's going to be the opposite of what I just said. I'll tell you now.
So without further ado, I'm sure you're all going to know this guy. He's pretty much runs the Twitterverse of Saints along with a few others. So welcome to the show, Hassan. How are we doing?
Yes, good afternoon, good evening, should I say. It's a pleasure to be back on. I remember I was on a couple of months ago when we were talking about moving the away fans and all that conversation. It feels like a long time ago. A lot's changed since then, both good and bad. But I mean, when it comes to Saints, the only way I can talk about it is taking you back 6 months, maybe just under, is to that great day when we did seal promotion back to the Premier League. Although it was a great day, unfortunately, I feel the club have made a lot of errors since, which need to be recognised and need to be put into context into the case of where we are today. One of the first things that happened after was the contract situation. Now, I think you speak to a lot of Saints fans. I think 90% would agree that Alex McCarthy probably shouldn't have been given a new contract. And I think it would have been a great way to end his Saints career at Wembley, bringing them back to the Premier League. He probably should have gone. And then there was an influx of contracts given out to players who brought us up, including the manager. I'm going to get to that. So Jack Stevens. Now, Jack Stevens, I will never, ever question his commitment to the football club at all. However, a conversation which has been going on for the last 6-7 years is about his quality. For me, he's not a Premier League quality. For me, he doesn't really have much financial value in the market in the case that we had to offer him a new deal. Will Smallbone, again, very much improved in the Premier League. I know he had a small hint under Ralph Hasenhüttl before he was sent on loan to Stoke. However, I don't think he should have been given a new contract. I could kind of understand the argument with Adam Armstrong after scoring a winner at Wembley. I think it would have been very harsh not to. But we started giving out contracts, and anyone who's read the financial report at the club will know it's not great. I think in the fines forum in August, the board actually mentioned it, that had we not gone up, we would have been in a really sticky financial situation. So I'm kind of sat there thinking, right, let's build a team for the Premier League. Now, we go and we buy Wood from Swansea. I think the fee was 5 to 6 million. You can quote me if I'm wrong. And then we go and buy Ronnie Edwards for 3 million. The issue I have with Ronnie Edwards is nothing to do with, he's done very well at Peterborough from a young age. He's played since the age of 18 in the first team, I think I'm correct. But it's a very big gap from League One to the Premier League, let alone Championship to the Premier League. Now, if you're going to buy a player like him, I could probably tell after about 2 pre-season games he's not ready for the Premier League. The smart thing for the club would have been to do is to load him up to the Championship, learn his trade, and then slowly, he's going to get better, more experienced. So we brought him in, and then we brought Wood in. And the Wood one was an interesting one, because I saw him play twice against us last season. I wasn't overly impressed. And when, as Saints fans, we always talk about recruitment. But for me, that was a Russell Martin signing. And they do add up. The 5 and 6 million pound signings, which we make, they slowly start to add up. I mean, there's been a lot of talk this week about the financial cripples of why we can't get rid of Martin, etc. I'll get to that in a moment. So I had issues there. We've then had an influx of players who've come back, and look, some great signings. I'm not going to deny them. I think Ramsdale, Sugawara, Mateus Fernandes, Adam Lallana. But then what we found in the season is he's showing so much loyalty to the team that brought him up. And he did that in the first 3 games, and it really, really backfired in the sense that we probably knew after the first 2 games they weren't good enough to start. The very annoying thing was that Newcastle game, playing against 10 men for over an hour. I never really felt we went for it until the last 20 minutes when we were a goal down. We had 13 corners that game. Imagine if Paul Onuachu was on the pitch. Just someone like him on the bench, you bring him on. He got pulled back. It should have been a penalty on the weekend. But imagine him from 10 corners against 10 men with all the crosses we put in. I just feel that Martin's not necessarily reacting to what the game needs. It's always what he wants. And we've been kind of flipping between the wrong team selection and the wrong tactics. I think you could call out the Brentford game away from home. The team selection was wrong. I think the Bournemouth game, which is probably the one that hurts the most, is in the case that we were maybe a minute away from grabbing our first 3 points of the season. Adam Lallana was absolutely excellent for 60 minutes. He didn't start that game. We didn't play with a striker. And you're thinking, we've had 9 days off here. What on earth has happened? I've been very clear with Lallana. Look, I understand his age and his injury crisis before. All I would say is to Lallana is I don't want you to play twice a week. Play for me once a week. Give me 55, 60 minutes. If we're 3-0 up or 3-0 down, I'm going to bring you off regardless. I just don't understand because he played against Brentford, he played against Ipswich, but since then we've seen very little off Lallana, and I think he was actually the one who recorded our first 2 assists of the Premier League era against Brentford and against Ipswich. So I questioned that a lot. And then it's just I understand the manager's learning. Obviously, he's never managed in this league, but I find it very hard to praise games in which we lose. And I know Russell spoke about how he thought we were great against Man United. But again, the bigger picture is we lost 3-0 to a very average Man United team. And that is the story. I think when it comes to style of play, I think the amount of goals we give away from our own possession, I think it's one of the highest in the league. That's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is the set pieces. Now, we had a set piece coach last season who I understand had joined Manchester United. But any pundit and any fan you speak to will tell you, who's played a little bit of football, that you don't necessarily need a set-piece coach for the errors we're making. Jamie Carragher did a great analysis on Monday Night Football, where if it's an outswinger, why is everyone kind of on the goal line? It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. And Russell alluded to, though, they're not doing their job. Or if they're not doing their job, then why are you trusting those certain players? I think Saturday was very frustrating because we was 2-0 up, we were cruising, and I just felt with the right players coming on the bench, off the bench, we could have probably seen that game out easily. I think Lallana would have been a great addition. Don't get me wrong, they put a bit of pressure on us, and when we were forced to make the change, Charlie Taylor would have been a great. We could have even gone to back 5. Bella Kocha, get him on. He's a tall lad. He's good in the air. Just someone like that to make it tough for them. And I just question the substitutions in the 2 games which we should have got points from, which Russell's alluded to, is the Ipswich game when we brought on Ross Stewart, which I'll be honest, even when he did feature this season, he didn't necessarily look 100% fit. So that was issue number 1. And issue number 2 is what happened on Saturday. So it's like you said, it's 1 point from 8. The stats don't necessarily are in our favour. I saw a stat saying everyone keeps alluding to Wolves, but Wolves have played 5 of the top 6 from last season. Right. So I think it's very unfair to put them in the same category as us, if you understand. So against, I think there was a table of the other 14 outside the top 6. We're bottom of that on -8. And that kind of alludes to the case that we haven't picked up points against teams around us. Leicester are now 8 points above us. The time Everton play us, I think Everton have got Fulham on the weekend. They could potentially be 10, 11 points ahead of us. And in the Premier League, those margins are massive, and it's a real worry. And I don't want to give up on our Premier League status just yet because we worked so hard last season. Last year was a real struggle. The amount that we played over 50 games in the league, and to give up in October, that's not for me. And it's a shame because I can't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel with Russell Martin as our manager, and it really hates me saying that.
Does a different manager get a different result out of these players? I mean, you talk about the fact that these players have been found out in terms of not being Premier League quality. I mean, I think you were quite fair on Adam Armstrong there. Yes, he got us back into the Premier League with that goal at Wembley, but didn't we see the season before when he was in the Premier League that he couldn't quite cut it in the Premier League? So, I mean, back to my original question: does a different manager get different results out of these players, or are we in this regardless because of the squad that we got?
I'll be honest. I do think there is quality. I think there are certain players who a different manager would probably. I think Cameron Archer is a great talent. I think we've got Dibbling, Mateus Fernandez. There are Lallana. I think even Joel Aribo, give him a shout. Sugawara, Carl Peters. There's enough there for me to say that we've got a team that can compete for 17th, and not a team that's going to roll over and be relegated by February, March. Mm-hmm. So that's my thinking. I think there is enough there to finish 17th and to put the real push for survival. I don't understand why we are giving up so easily. So talking about managers, I mean, everyone's talking about Potter and Moyes. I mean, those two tend to be the only ones with people talking about. Now, the situation with Potter is he's still being paid by Chelsea, from what I understand. So I did a bit of studying into it and a bit of background checks. And I think it would be very tough in our financial situation to attract Potter. In fact, I'll be absolutely stunned.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. No.
I think Moyes, end of the day, I think Moyes plays for points. There'll be games where we sit back. It's very different with Moyes. It's not your pretty 70% possession, 60% possession, passing it around the back. It's very direct. And I think Moyes really plays for points. I mean, he did well at West Ham. I think with the 3 consecutive seasons they were in Europe, including a European trophy. So I actually thought it was very harsh when they got rid of him. I think he probably could get the side to challenge for 17th. But this vision I think the club have about style of play, which is, in fairness, comes from Wilcox, who I thought did a great job last year before he went to Manchester United. It's a shame we haven't really replaced someone with great footballing knowledge this season to kind of overshadow things. And I think I mentioned it earlier, you don't kind of know who had the authority over certain signings this year. Was it Russell? Was it Rasmus Ankerson? Was it Sports Republic directly? It's kind of all a bit mixed. So talking about there are managers available in Europe as well. I think that should be remembered. There's managers who are the former Benfica managers available, the former Napoli managers. There are managers who've done well in France, Italy, Spain. And it's no harm because they have managed at a top pedigree. I mean, Brighton have brought in a manager who managed in Germany last season, and they're doing okay. So my point is I wouldn't rule it out. My worry is what happened 2 years ago when we appointed Nathan Jones. And it's weird because I think Villa sacked their manager, Gerrard, a week before and appointed Unai Emery. We sacked Hassan a week later and got Nathan Jones.
Thanks for bringing that back, by the way. That's
the perfect way to sum it up. That's it. Like, that's how.
I don't think it should come after a certain result that a manager should. It has to be an overall assessment. I mean, Mark Hughes was sacked after a 2-2 draw with Man United at home. Yeah. Adkins was sacked with a 2-2 draw away at Chelsea. But what I would say is I have a lot of questions about the board, and I do question them because they are making the same mistakes. I do felt we were in better hands under Kruger, Reed, Martin Semmens, Toby Steele, Nicola Cortese. But with Sports Republic, I just don't understand. I mean, they talk about a 10-year plan, but I just don't see. And I put a start up early in the week that we've won 2 home Premier League games out of 25 since going back to April 2022, which is a 8% win ratio, which is it's not nice. And you know what I mean? I mean, supporting the Saints isn't for the. It's tough going sometimes, but I just want something a bit more. I'd like to win the odd game. 17th, 16th, I don't think that's over-ambitious. I think our fan base have kind of just accepted that, we're going straight down and it doesn't seem to matter. No, I want us to go down with a bit of fight and a bit of courage, not just from the manager, from the players, but I think it needs to start by getting the right team selection, the right tactics. And at the moment, it's just not happening, is it?
No, it's not happening at all. I mean, Hassan, you've never been particularly a fan of Russell Martin, from my understanding of reading your tweets. Were you surprised that he was given a 3-year deal at the beginning of the season? And do you think that was quite premature, or was it really worth doing it considering the amount of interest around Russell Martin? I mean, we aren't to know what his agents were saying, but did that surprise you, that 3-year deal?
Yeah. So with Russell, what I always said from last season is if he keeps us up, May 2025, he would deserve that contract. But it was very premature to give that contract to him, just because he's unproven in the Premier League. And I thought that there was a real buzz about the place, and I do think the board got carried away ever so slightly. But we're now in a situation where honestly, I want Russell to turn it around, but I just get that feeling inside me that he can't. I mean, I think it's quite clear that they're going to give him the next two games, not the Man City game, but the Everton and the Wolves game. And then obviously, if we don't win those, I think a new manager will come in. The worry for, if you look at the fixture list after that, you've got your Liverpools, your Chelseas, your Villa away, and your Brighton away. And any guy who kind of takes over from that, you really start to feel quite sorry for because they are tough games. So I think it's going to be a real test at the moment of Sports Republic. I think it's going to be a test of Russell Martin. And I think it's a real shame as well that it could potentially end like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like to think in an ideal world, Russell either turns it round, keeps us up, or a new manager comes in, keeps us up, and Russell could come on the last day against Arsenal, and he still maintains that legacy. Because if we're in the Premier League the next 5 years, Russell will always be remembered as the guy that brought us back up. And he'll always have the respect of the football club, and he'll always have the respect of the fans. I kind of feel if we were to go down with a record points tally, we would kind of undo all the work that we did and the togetherness of the club we had last year. So it's a real tough one, but I genuinely think for the better of the football club, I think, I don't like to use the word sacking, but replacing Russell Martin with a more experienced, better manager is for the best interest of the football club in general. From them being in the Premier League, because at the end of the day, if we go down, I don't want to see Tyler Dibling go to teams like West Ham and Mateus Fernandes to go to Forest. I think we've got a lot of assets at the moment who, if we were to stay up, Tyler Dibling's would be worth so much more. So when we talk about financial issues, inevitably when a top club come in for them, we'll be able to get more money for them. Essentially, if we go down, they're all going to go for pocket change. Kyle Walker-Peters is another example. I understand why he hasn't signed a new contract. I think it's well within his right. I disagree with him being dropped. But what I would say is if we were to stay up, I'd hope Kyle would sign the deal. But if a club would come in, it means we'll get good money. As it stands, he's not going to sign it. I understand that from his point of view. We're going to lose him for free. So it's not just the footballing side where I want, it's the financial side. And I think at the moment, we're in a horrible storm at the moment. But if the club acts rightly and we can somehow find a way to stay up, I think we can have better days ahead at the club. So it's tough at the moment to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But it's the people at Staple Wood and it's the hierarchy at St Mary's to kind of try and sort it out. Because I don't think it's a shame because the Northern Wall is being built and they haven't had a goal scored towards them in 4 games.
It's brutal.
It's brutal, and you kind of think you just see all those fans there, and they haven't had any cheering their way.
Especially
which is a shame. So I just want something for the club and the fans to get excited about, because at the moment we haven't had much.
No, certainly, especially on Saturday with the sun in their faces the entirety of the game. It's just what a rough time to do.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack, just to bring you in quickly on this, there's been a lot of talk on the radios and people saying that Southampton they're in it for most of the game, and then it's just kind of slips away needlessly. I mean, would you agree with the fact that we're competing, but it's just a few silly mistakes?
It's like I said earlier on, it's the same as last season. How often that last season did we take the lead and then just drop off? And then because we were playing championship sides and we had that extra bit more gas in the tank, we could get by in those games or get those late winners. And now it's this season, and it's as soon as the goal goes in again, the heads still drop. But now you're playing against teams that aren't going to let off. I mean, the amount of times you were in a game, you think that first goal goes in against you, like they've not earned that. They've not earned that one. That was, and then the next 3 go, and you're like, all right, they've earned them now. And that is just how it feels every trip out this season. It's felt like, okay, well, we've done all right there for a minute, and then as soon as it goes in, it's just a complete downfall. Nothing looks the same after we've conceded a goal. And it doesn't matter how if we're ahead, if it's just a tie, it just absolutely goes just deflates.
Yeah, Hassan, how do you see this playing out?
Hand on heart, I think that we've got 2 games against teams above us, which are very important. Not just for Russell, but in the case of if we lose them, they're essentially 6-pointers. So Everton would potentially go up to 11 to 12 points above us, and then there's a bit of a gap between us and Wolves, and you just worry about getting cut adrift. Now, I do worry. I think the Everton game's just so big in that case. I think it'd probably be a draw, and then follow. I mean, our record at Molineux is pretty tough. It's not great. Maybe taking 1 point from those 2 games, it isn't going to be enough. I'd like to see certain players come back into the side. I mentioned Lallana, Bella Koch. I mean, we've conceded 3 goals in the last 5 games consistently. Yeah. So it shows that something defensively, that's the concentration, or like you said, fitness, it's just not working. So I just don't understand why he isn't a player that we just give. Let's give him time, and let's just see how he performs. I want us to kind of play our strongest team, but then from Russell, he's got to understand. I feel he shows favouritism to players. This is just my opinion here. I see that Smallbone, Stevens, and Fraser. From my point of view, I feel he shows favouritism in the sense that he brings Smallbone on when we're losing. We're 2-1 up on Saturday. He hasn't kicked a ball for 2 months due to injury. Again, and I thought he's got Leslie who can come on, and he's got Lallana who can come on, and he brings Smallbone. And the same case was with Ryan Fraser. He could bring on a right back for right back. And to be fair, Charlie Taylor did all right against their dangerous player when he came on. I thought he kept him at arm's length. So those are 2 substitutions which I think other managers would make and the fans would have wanted. But I just Ryan Fraser, for me, he was always just thank you for the championship. But I would have never signed him. And I mean, he had a game against Everton away. I thought he was okay. Had a bit of a stinker against Bournemouth. So I never felt that he was someone that was pushing to come to play. So it just surprised me when he comes on. He has a bad 5 minutes, and I just don't think he's a Premier League quality. And I think Russell's talked about making them believe they're good enough, but I just think sometimes they're not good enough, unfortunately. I think financially, I just want us to go into January with hope, with some sort of connection with the teams above us, but we can still stay up. And then look, we might have to get rid of some players. Dare I say Adam Armstrong, for example, if he's not playing, the Championship team wants to buy him, loan him, maybe a £2 million loan deal, because he's an attractive player for the Championship for the second part. You've got Burnley who want to go up, you've got your Leeds, your Sunderland. He's going to guarantee you goals. So just to raise funds, we may potentially have to let go of certain players, maybe your James Breeze and players like that. Because I understand the financial situation of the club isn't great, but that takes me back to early, and I question some of the deals we did this time. I think the Diaz one, the Wood one, are probably the 2 standout ones. I just can't comprehend them at the moment for me. And it adds up at the end of the day, those deals.
I agree with you there. I think the Ronnie Edwards one, because it's not small money, but in terms of like potential for an increase on the player was there, but there were a few out there that I thought, not really sure about that. And let's not forget that when we got promoted, the securing of Taylor Harwood-Bellis as a permanent player, that's an extra 20 million. Flynn Downs getting him in, so to basically just re-establish those 2 core players, I mean, that's near on 50 million quid already. So
Bellis has been a bit of a tough one because he just looks flustered. He gets to a point where he just looks flustered and starts hitting balls to nowhere. And there's so many games where he's just like doing stupid stray passes to nothing, and he just looks so frustrated.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, even Jan Bednarek, he's been a great servant for the club. I just do wonder, is he coming towards the end of his Saints career based on his age? But he doesn't seem to be as sharp as he was before. And it does feel that a little bit with us. It just feels like we're so easy to score against. There doesn't seem to be some sort of shape where we've done work on defending. I mean, we showed signs of it against Arsenal in the first half. Maybe we rode our luck. But apart from that, like the Arsenal first half, why couldn't we see that 2-0 up against Leicester and just see the game out? It's about game management sometimes. You kind of got to know when not to chase the game, when to defend. Like I said, and unfortunately that comes down to the manager. And I feel sorry for him because he's under pressure. He wants to do well, and it's not nice for anyone. I mean, it's a tough time being a Saints fan, but I guess the only positive I can say is, look, let's try and win that game against Stoke and get ourselves to the quarterfinals. And you just never know. You get a nice favourable draw, and then you're in a semi. So the cups may give you that bit of spot. That's the only positive I could talk about at the moment.
Yeah.
So
thank you for having me on. I'm going to have to go.
Yeah,
it's been an absolute pleasure.
Before you go, Hassan, before you go, can I have a score prediction for the weekend before you go?
Right, I was gonna go along with the 3-1 traditional away scores, but I think City are a bit too good, so I'm gonna go for a 4-1 to Manchester City.
Brutal, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time, Hassan. Appreciate it.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Cheers. Yeah. There we go.
Cool. I guess it made me sad the last 2 weeks.
Very
good, very passionate.
Well, the stats last time. And then it's Hassan bringing us some hard truths. Hassan, thank you so much for joining us there. I'll put his details in the comment section after the show. But yeah, no, I mean I follow Hassan on Twitter, and I don't think he's ever been a fan of Russell Martin, but I do genuinely believe that he and many other Saints fans really want Russell Martin to succeed, and it's so nearly there on some cases, but then you have one or two players that have a bad game and it just goes horrible, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now, would you take lowest points total but a League Cup trophy?
Does that get us Europe? I don't know. It might do, actually.
It depends how the rest of the league works, right?
I think so.
Imagine that.
League Cup still get Europe?
Champo on a European tour. That'd be the best season ever. So many games. So many games.
Yeah.
That you think about that. If that somehow happens, surely that'd be like a 70-game season, or could be.
It could be. We're going on a European tour via Rotherham. Yeah, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Well, I don't really know where to go. I mean, we could go on to.
He's kind of done the show for us. Should we just log off?
Yeah. As always, remember, like, comment, share. No, we'll do a little bit more. I don't believe people are rushing off on holiday. So yes, well, I think that's pretty much summed up the situation. Should we turn our focus to Man City at the weekend and think how
20 minutes of forwards going wrong, and then straight into right now we're playing the best team in the world,
the best team the Premier League has ever seen. But we're going to go into various kind of details to show that because Rodri's injured, we got some hope.
And De Bruyne out as well, I hear.
Is he? Oh, that's good. Let us know if you're heading up to Manchester at the weekend. The brave souls in that sold-out away end. Yes, I'll say that again. A sold-out away end at Manchester City. Bravo to you all. I did it last time and it hurt. I think it was watching Erling Haaland and thinking like, sorry, is that a grown-up playing with school children down there? It just looks so out of place. Getting absolutely bullied by Canelo down the left side, and it was a fun watch. You're gonna love it. It's not a bad away day.
The thing to remember, mate, if Nathan Jones, Gineppo, and Mara can do it, anyone can.
That was Ralph back then. I think it was Ralph.
No.
Is it? No.
It's like the only game that Nathan Jones won. That and Everton.
Oh no, that was at home that we won.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's Ralph with the halfway line goal, and it was Chip with Shea.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the other one. See, look, if Ralph and Shea can do it,
look, stuff like this. Who else is triple? Now we understand, but let's don't have to say it out loud. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Let's just keep it single figures. That should be the title of this show. De Bruyne is out. There we go. Sangatili, you're going to be our new stat person. It's going to be
Hey, how dare you? I gave out that stat. That was knowledge that I've read on Twitter.
We actually had quite a few close ones with Ralph. We did. We denied them the quad. We did. We are their kryptonite. We're not at all. Let's not kid ourselves. It's going to get really painful very quickly. Shall we pick? Now I've got lined up here the squad, but I kind of feel a little bit. Do you want to? I'll put this over to the chat section. I'll let them decide. Do you want us to pick a preferred 11 for City away, or do you want us to genuinely pick what we think is our strongest 11 at Southampton?
What our current strongest 11 is?
Yeah.
I couldn't think of 10 strong players right now.
So let's do the City away prediction. So to saying strongest. Yeah, maybe. There's one vote so far. Isaac saying our strongest. Should we do that?
Yeah, go on. Do
that because I think that way it's a little bit more. For another reason, I don't know how to get the formation to put 7 players on the back line, so it doesn't do that. So I'll do it this way. That makes sense. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Right, here we go. Bringing it in. Right. I put Ramsdale in goal. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely, Ramsdale.
Absolutely right. So let's imagine this is a formation that we're just playing a team that we have a chance of beating. And these are who we think are the strongest players for those particular positions that we have at Southampton right now.
Yep.
Fit or injured. This is a euphoric world where there aren't any injuries and everyone's playing as best as they possibly can, and hugely motivated to do so because the manager's got them all singing the right tune. So, should we start with the right back position?
I can give you the whole back line, mate. That one picks itself.
Okay. So, I'm guessing Walker Peters?
No, it's Collett, Mott, Bourne, and Perfield.
What? Are you doing what?
It's Collett, Mott, Bourne, and Perfield.
You lost me.
It's the women's team. They're way better.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'll put Millie Mott there. Yeah, 100%.
Millie Mott goes in. Millie Mott goes straight in. The strongest 11 we've got in this English club involves Millie Mott.
Not in there. Outrageous. Millie, have a word. No player found. Please try. No, you try again. Right? You try again, lineup builder. Millie Mott, future captain, should be in there. Am I putting Carl Peters?
Yeah, get him in there.
Carl Walker Peters.
But I still think it's Kyle Walker Peters and Sugawara. So I think he's got to go on the left.
Okay. I don't mind that. All right. Let's do that. Let's switch you out. Oh, what am I doing? What's that do? Never knew what that did. What? Go away.
You've got this, pal.
Should I change his name? You can do that.
You know, if you see Mike at the games, you think, look at all those cameras that he's got, all those. He must be really good with tech.
I made it 10 times worse there, haven't I? Just changed Carl Peters' name to Sugawara. That's not going to work. Can I call IT support during a show?
You've got this, pal. Come on.
I got this. What up he is. And
what
then
up he is.
Physically move him. Can I move him? Oh, look, I can. I didn't know I could do that. Oh, no, I can't move that one.
Mate,
that makes sense. Right. Sugar. Sugawara.
I would also like to put a petition out now to say that when we sing follow, 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 we change it to and we got Rambo in goal instead of Joe Aribo. Joe Aribo's already got a good song.
Yeah.
He's already got one.
Joe's got goal music.
Do you know what I mean? He's got more than everybody else. So
only
I feel
playing Scott that's got
follow,
goal
follow,
music.
follow. We're the best team on the South Coast. We play in red and white. We're rather dynamite, and we got Rambo in goal.
We're rather dynamite.
Well, you know, I'm just whatever you.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I just remember what you're replacing. Then, well done.
Yeah,
well done. Excellent.
That's what you can sing at games now because you might usually just skips that word.
We're rather dynamite.
We're rather dynamite.
I love that. That's great. Right. Centre back pairing, Jack.
Let's go with Yannick Bednarak.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
and Armal Bella-Kotchap.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Now, listen, there's a part of me that thinks that maybe Talia Harlow-Bellis and Bella-Kotchap would be the most insane partnership. But right now, I
Too wild.
I know what Hassan was saying, but for me, Yanni's kind of been a consistent one for me this season.
Yeah.
In a team where you're getting people dropping 2 out of 10s and never really going above 7 or 8, Yanni's probably been a consistent 6. He's never dropped below 6. I think he's had pretty decent games.
Yeah. Like I say, you use the arrows to swap players, but other players need to be able to. Yeah. Thank you. Local Southampton lad is now Matchday Vlogs IT support. Thank you so much. Checks in the post.
We've needed a helpline for so long. Thank you for this.
ABK, good call. Mike has used Sir Carl Peters in a Juliet. I can't not say it in a Juliet accent ever since.
The best way to say it. Carl Peters.
That fateful meeting. Right, we're moving into midfield. Where are we going, Jack?
Lallana, Downs, Fernandez. But has Flynn been that great?
No, not recently. You get back there.
So, would it be too outrageous to say Lallana, Aribo, Fernandez?
No.
Because I think Aribo has been pretty solid. Even at the weekend, I thought he was great, and until he got pushed out to the wing.
Yeah, Fernandez with an S. I remember now.
Start with Mateus.
He's down here. There he is. How dare he be so far down the list? Have more B cells. What are you doing? So you want to stick? You want to switch these two and put Aribo?
Yeah, why not? I know it's not really Lallana's position, but screw it. Let's go flying.
Bench. Aribo. Huh?
Or is there a chance? Is there a chance that we switch back to 5 at the back? And that way you can just have 2 in midfield. So you can just have 2 high pushing midfielders.
I've done it. I figured it out. I don't need to call local Southampton lad for IT support then. I turned it on and off again. Sorry, Jack, where were we?
I was saying, is there a chance that we can switch to 5? Instead.
Do you want to?
I don't know. I do not think then that way you can have a way more attacking midfield. Yeah, 5 at the back. Have that. Not. Yeah, why not? How about 5 at the back with Bella-Kotchap in the middle, pushing forward, almost playing a number 6 or dropping back, a bit like what Stephens was attempting to do last season.
Okay. What and have? Who are you taking out of this?
For now, Lallana, but that's
okay.
That's because I think Aribo and Fernandez in the middle could be quite fun. Or maybe, let's go for that. Why not?
Taylor. So you're doing because
Absolutely.
Also our wing backs aren't particularly defensive minded.
Exactly.
So that's perhaps not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. Go on,
and then
where are you putting Fernandez out on the wing?
No, I'm gonna go Diblin out on one side.
Okay.
And then you may think me rather crazy. I think it's going to be almost like a let's put 2, let's go 2 at the top, shall we? Let's go Tupool.
Oh, Onuachu.
And Cameron Archer.
Oh, okay.
With the idea that Tupool will always stay in the middle, Archer can go out to the wing if need be.
Okay. All right. Wow. There we go.
How about that then?
We could actually start this against City. It's available.
How about that then? How about that for a game?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all fit, ready to go.
Daniel's feeling confident with it already. Wow.
Someone's got to be. Someone's got to be.
Need to play hard with Burst against our... To be clear, this is the lineup that we think is currently what we have our strongest possible availability, fit or not. So, yeah, quite like that.
Put it this way: if I was playing Football Manager and with our current squad, and I was in the form that we were in, this is probably where I'd be right about now.
Yeah. No, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Right, there we go. I'm gonna lock it in. There we go. That was our chosen 11 for the case of the fact that's our chosen 11 because that's what we think is currently the best option that we have available to us. Fantastic stuff. Right, there we go. Let's move on to the most audacious part of the show, which is score prediction time. I have no idea where you're going to go with this. Right, of course, this is the part of the show where you get to put in your score predictions in the chat section, and we will be going through all of those right after me and Jack have given ours. Sorry, Jack and I, just in case Mrs. Matchday Vlogs is listening in and correcting my poor grammar yet again.
It's what it is,
right.
pal. Here's what it is.
It is what she loves that too. It is what it is. It's yeah. It is what it is. Good luck with that one. Right then, where are we going to go with this? Would you like me to go first?
You go for it, pal.
Okie dokie. I can see this being ugly, but I can also see Pep not peppering us completely. He's one of those managers that when things get rough, he's just kind of like, just chill. Just chill. He's never one to be utterly ruthless. So I think the best we can hope for is a 4-0 loss.
Oh, yeah? Put that down. Put it in. You've heard it all. Mike said it.
I've locked it in.
Wow.
Do you remember that time when at the end of the season and we were playing Fulham and it's a game that we had to win to have any chance of staying up? I said, It's 2-0. And you went, what? You're predicting a loss? I went, yep. Kind of feels like we know how this one's going to go. Look, we were battered with 10 men on the pitch against Leicester. Okay, there's some really attacking talent, but I just really fear in terms of how quickly City get the ball forward. Playing their way we do, or wish we could. Right, Jack, over to you.
This is like I think it's like, was it maybe like Rocky 4? I didn't hear no bell. I didn't hear no bell. I didn't hear no bell, Mike. 2-1 the Saints. Stuff you. I get.
Oh wow. Okay.
2-1. This is it, mate. This is the final round. This is right. I'm going to take one big swing here, and if it hits, we're going on a run, and we're going to meet Europe. And if we don't, it's going to be losses until I see on. Come on.
So you're going 2-1.
2-1 the Saints.
Look at that. No surrender. Here we go. There we go. That is the score predictions. I'm sadly going for a 4-0 loss. It is what it is. And Jack is defiantly remaining on brand and sticking with a 2-1 away win. Are we going to end the game with 11 against 11, or is it going to get super ugly?
We're going to win.
Feels like somehow. A thing now. I don't know.
No, we're going to win it with 12 men because it's the away fans that do it, right? The away fans that do it.
I can hear music right now. Keep going. That's amazing.
It's you, mate, going against the brand. How dare you? I always thought I'd be the first one to go, not you. Give me the GoPro.
Oh, right. Let's go for
We're rather dynamite, mate. We are rather dynamite.
Yeah, definitely.
And totally. We've got Rambo in goal.
That's going to end up on the t-shirt? We're rather dynamite. There we go. Right. Singleton is kicking us off with a looking tasty for a 2-1 defeat. Oh, that'd be not too bad. It would be a defeat still. Alpha's going for a 3-0 City. Probably the minimum it would be, to be honest. Haaland, Brace, and Doku. Yikes. My score prediction from Isaac's going for a 6-0 City. My hope is a 2-1 Southampton. Isaac's on there with Jack. Look at that. Charlie is going 5-1 Man City. Dibbling to beat 3 players and score. That'd be quite something. Josh is going for a 1-0 Saints. Onuachu will score a 35-yard screamer in the 94th. Wow. I'd love that. Absolutely love that. Can't say we'll lose or draw, so 1-0 Tool Paul to score from Ramsdale assist. Which is what I should have said, to be fair. Callum's going for a 5-0 City. Luke is going for a 1-0 Saints. Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Unfortunately, I think we're going to get battered. It sounds very educated to say that, but Jack has alluded to the fact that we're winning 2-1. So
I don't know what she's talking about. Last time I spoke to Sarah, she was talking about upgrading her ticket, going right behind the dugout.
Is she going to get a box? Are we getting a box?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, she was talking about getting a box. Everything
I've had a word. They'll do a deal. 45 grand for the rest of the season.
Not only has she ordered the away kit, she's ordered 22 of them for the entire squad. I think third kit's going to be the reserve. So So I don't know where that's come from.
So you heard it here first. Sarah now thinks we're going to win. Harold is going for a 4-1. Ryan's going for a 5-0 City. Hat-trick from Haaland. And 2 for Foden. Let us know if anyone's going along to the game as well. Isle is going for a 5-2 Man City. Haaland for 2. Foden, Kovacic, Benrick own goal.
Can I say something? When I said 2-1, a part of me in my mind went Benrick own goal though.
Was it that used to score own goals that now plays for Watford?
Hoot,
that's it.
How could you not remember him, mate? We booed him 4 times last season. You could never understand why.
I still don't understand.
Only a season later, he's like, who's that guy who's got all the own goals?
He was just terrible. Stefan Hawes, if we do 5-3-2, I can see we get a win. 1-0 to Southampton. Sorry, I went very high there. Sorry. See my name. You nearly got me, but no. Jack, don't you dare. See, everyone's that with your possibility. Positivity, not possibility.
The possibilities are endless, pal.
Yes, absolutely. The possibilities. Not even going to read that out. Or that. It's getting worse. Stephen Stewart is going for a 2-1 Saints win.
He's an educated man, you see.
Believe.
A scholar.
See, believe, achieve. That's what they say, isn't it? 6-0 City. 35-yard header. Look at this. That Benrick own goal odds on. That Sarah said this. 2-0 Saints and she'll upgrade.
Get ready to regret that.
I wonder how long it would take you to pay off a 45 grand box. We won't hold you to it. Jack will.
I will. I will.
Clean sheet of the Etihad and score 2 goals. The odds on that.
You thought the mess you had in your garden this weekend was a mess. Wait till this bet comes in. You've got to do that.
Everyone clip this up. Sorry, Sarah. There we go. Sarah ended that one with her 2-0 win. Look at that. Ramsdale lobbed Edison. Absolute cinema. Yeah, absolutely. Wait to see it. That'd be quite something. There we go. Fantastic stuff. Sarah's seen the funny side. Good stuff. Right, there concludes the score prediction section of the show. Moving on to other topics that we currently have going on in football. And I can't think of anything other than the fact of the circus that's going around with the fact that we have 4 clubs in the Premier League right now that are yet to pick up a win. But suddenly all the pressure is on Russell. Do you see any other manager under particular pressure? I see one that's not anywhere. Well, is near the bottom three. Is West Ham manager. I kind of sort of see he'd been.
I'll be honest with you. I stopped watching football. my opinion.
Saints games are enough, aren't they? They're just like
my opinion from last season hasn't changed that much. I don't really like the Premier League. And yeah, I was this weekend was the first time I thought maybe I might watch Match of the Day. Then I didn't. So, yeah, it's football, mate. Football. Salisbury are playing Dorking soon. That'll be a fun day. I think I'll go watch that. That'd be good. Harlequins are doing all right in their league. That's all right. Apparently, Harlem Social's not doing great, but there are other things to watch.
There are other things to watch and enjoy. I particularly enjoyed catching up with a former season ticket holder who came to saw us before the game during half time. And he said to me, he goes, yeah, I'd call me a plastic, but I just had to sack in the season ticket and spend more time with the kids. And I was like, you did a wise choice there, to be fair. Well, yeah, obviously. I was like, well, yeah, obviously. But yeah, it was a rough one. It was a rough one. But we're certainly doing our best to keep things as chipper as possible. But it's always nice to say hello to people at the stadium. Particularly enjoyed that. Any other things you enjoyed at the weekend, Jack, aside from the game?
Yeah, I always enjoy bumping into people. It's nice seeing Martin before the game. Very much appreciate the 7-Up, Martin. Always do. He went to buy me a Twix. People, if you see us at the games, do not buy a stadium Twixes. They are tiny and £5.50. Don't do it. However, if you pass along this on the way, you think just in case I see the boys, worst scenario is you're going to have yourself a nice little Twix.
Exactly. Stuart's checking your bag going, why has he got 25 Twixes in there?
And if we're being truly honest, I'm on a bit of a Snickers hype right now, so let's...
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
The chocolate bars are available.
Is there anybody specifically you want? Oh, Bueno. We love Buenos over here.
Just something
we're fans of
Nespressos.
Nespressos are a big fan.
Just being that annoying guy on podcast that says, other things are available. Other chocolate bars are available. I find it quite funny.
Do you know what? Who's very good at that? Tom Deacon. Tom Deacon's fantastic at that. I mentioned Kingfisher on the BBC, and he was just like, "Other beers are available." I was like, "You're professional, bro."
Other beers are definitely available, especially
Absolutely.
ones that are, yeah. There we go. Fantastic. Not on brand. It's only Twix. Yes,
mate. This season's knocking me off.
Jack, you're not yourself if you haven't had a Twix. Oh, see what I did there? Oh,
Twix. Now listen to us, right? This was all a ploy. I've not gone off you at all. This is just a great advert. So, Nestle, hit us up.
Exactly. Call us.
Although that is more of the Snickers advert. You're not you and you.
I know. That's why I said it.
Yeah. Hit us up. Hit
us up, indeed. So there it is. That is the show for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, you can leave all of your comments after the show, or if you're watching us on replay, stick them in the comments section, and we'll be sure to keep the conversation going that way. Once again, be sure to check out the current competition from Football Prizes. That's 2 hospitality tickets. Tickets are just £3.95, and do you know what the best part of this is? This competition ends on Tuesday. This is a little special treat for the 60 people that are still in the room watching us live and anyone watching us on replay this far. They have only sold 30 tickets so far. They've only sold 30 tickets so far. So if this gets to Tuesday evening and it's sold 40 tickets, you have a 1 in 40 chance of winning 300 and something quid's worth of tickets for a hospitality game. Just saying. So it's definitely worth a look. And of course, there are some instant wins mixed in there as well. So go and check them out. You can either use the QR code or just simply go to footballprizes.co.uk. So go check them out. Lovely stuff. Well, there it is. That's the show. Jack and I won't be at the game. Have you got any other plans this weekend, Jack?
I think we're going to pumpkin picking. 'Tis the season.
Sounds nice.
I'm gonna fly out and have a little chat with Rafa and see what he's up to. If he fancies the job. What yourself? Big plans?
Yeah, so a little trip with the family. So I'll be looking forward to that. But I'll try and do a
Charm Type are playing Bournemouth Saturday. If anybody's in Bournemouth for Saturday night, come down and watch Charm Type. We've got a spooky show planned.
There you go. Go watch a real life rock star. No, it's always good. And Jack certainly knows how to put on a show. I can certainly vouch for that.
Yeah, you've watched this stream, guys. Imagine this in real life.
He's wearing his Twix shirt and everything. It's fantastic.
And the Hailing Island show has been announced as well. So if everyone, all the Saints fans want to come down to Portsmouth for a show, that'd be a fun one.
That would be a fun one. No, maybe we should do that. Might be a fun one to do. I'm not skiing, but it will be a holiday of sorts. Anyway, lovely stuff. Well, thank you so much once again for joining us. Keep the conversation going in the comment section, and Jack and I will see you in the next one. All right. See ya.
Bye.